Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RMTV Women's podcast. This is episode 122, and it's me and Amy this week. Shout out to Emma for filling in last week, last minute. Some issues, but yeah, we're back this week. How are we today, Amy, on this fine Tuesday?
Brilliant. Yeah, not bad. You?
Super.
Could I be any less convincing?
Yeah, you didn't have anyone fool with that answer then.
No, we're all right. Getting by.
Getting by. We'll see each other soon. It won't be long until we're doing this over Zoom. It'll be fine.
I know. Well, we might still have to. But,
I mean, yeah. Depends how things go, to be honest. But
exactly.
But yeah, we're plodding on. It's going to be a very Liverpool women-based podcast this week. There's not much news outside of women's football, so we thought we'll stick to Liverpool women this week and have just a big old discussion about them. Because we won a game of football on Sunday. We beat London Bees 3-0, which was amazing. It was such a breath of fresh air of a match, don't you think? I think that was like a good way to describe it. Like, it was just so enjoyable to watch. I don't know whether you felt the same, like watching it at home. Obviously I went the game, but it was just such a nice atmosphere in the stadium as well. But then obviously at home, what were your thoughts and opinions on the game?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. Like, it was a nice, welcome sort of change in atmosphere as in comparison to what it's felt like the last couple of months. I think there was no doubt about the fact that if we hadn't have won this game, there would have been a lot of questions asked. And maybe like going into that game, you sort of felt it a little bit in terms of, we need to win this game. So there probably, I personally didn't feel pressure, but I thought it was a bit of a high pressure situation in order to sort of really get the win. But obviously when you go 1-0 up, through Becky Jane of all people, what a woman. Yeah, it was bound to be like a good game. And I felt just replenished. That was the word I said when I did my little post-match thing. And I just felt like new. I just felt new. It was weird. It's like a strange feeling, but
yeah,
after so many things not going your way, and it finally does, and every single player on the pitch was great, which we haven't seen for a long time. So that was like a welcomed sort of happiness.
Yeah, and like you said, then it wasn't just one player. Like, there's been a lot of games the last, I don't know, 2 seasons that you'd probably say you've been reliant on probably like a Rachel Fairness or a Mel Lawley or someone else who's just having a really good game to sort of drag you through it for the 90 minutes. But that entire match, everyone was a 10 out of 10, I'd say. Like, there wasn't one player there who I thought, oh, maybe they need to come off, or maybe put this player on instead, or nothing. Like, it wasn't a thought. And then obviously to be able to bring the likes of Mel Lawley, Fairness, Amy Rodgers off the bench, although, you know, to begin with we were like, well, why aren't they starting? Like, they're our best players. Why are they not starting in the game? Because it wasn't due to injury. It was just they were just weren't. Yeah, they just weren't in the starting 11. But then also on one hand, it's nice to have those players to come off the bench, because when they did, the game completely flipped again, and you know, we end up 3-0 and down to a couple of those players coming on. So yeah, I think the whole squad deserves praise, because not one of them was out of place on that. But you mentioned Becky Jane briefly then. Obviously playing on the wing, going from right back to right wing is a bit of a change, but I thought she did absolutely amazing. I think she's obviously a solid right back, but then put her on the wing and she was exceptional. Like, her pace, like you see her pace in defensive positions, like when she's you know, tracking back and whatnot, but going forward she was lethal with that pace.
She was, and I think it sort of like played to her strengths. That position does play to her strength. Don't get me wrong. I think she's a brilliant right back in terms of like recovery pace. If the opposing team's on a counter attack, I think she's absolutely perfect for that role. But it just seemed to fit really well. Like you mentioned about the team selection, when I first seen it, I think, along with most of everyone else, a bit like, what the hell's this? But like I was happily proved wrong. I mean, that first half was just something, potentially one of the best halves we played this season, in my opinion. It's definitely up there. But yeah, Becky Jane on the wing is definitely something I'd like to see more. And then it's nice the fact that then Razza slots into right back, who she plays internationally with Wales for in that position anyway. So it's not like it's like a brand new thing to try and swap everyone around.
Yeah.
But I think it was really clever of Rylee and the staff to sort of point out that Becky Jane can run down the wing and be really good at it and get ourselves like the goal that she scored was a centre forward's goal. It was ridiculous. Like back post,
goal,
yeah, like I proper poached it. And yeah, it was great, and I definitely want to see more of it. Like I really enjoyed it. It was just like an injection of pace that you didn't see coming, and it was brilliant.
Yeah, well, that was my next question. It's like, well, going forward for the remainder of the season, then would you be happy if that was what you seen on the team sheet?
I wouldn't be unhappy. That's for sure. I think it would be great. But I think mix it up. It depends on who you're against, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think the team. I think playing that way against a team like London Bees, obviously we caught them out every single time. We could have been 4-0 up, I feel like, in the first 25 minutes. Maybe against other teams it wouldn't work quite as well. Maybe you need Mel Lawley on that right and whatnot. But Mel Lawley can play on the left as well. So it's still an option to have both of them too in your starting 11 if that's what needs to be done. But
it's a nice it's nice to have options, I think.
Yeah.
Especially with, obviously we'll get into it with the whole Rinse situation. It's nice to have a pool of different players you can play in loads of different positions, because obviously Becky James, the standout one that we probably didn't see coming, but even when Mel came on, Mel was kind of more in the 10 a little bit to begin with. Then she drifted out, and then you seen Fernie up top in like the 9, and it was a completely different change of approach this week. And I think, no disrespect to London Bees, but it was against them was a good opportunity to sort of try out these things, and obviously it shows against those sides that maybe we have more of possession over, that it works well for them. Who knows, if we'd have played like that against Sheffield or Durham, it could have been obviously a completely different situation and it might not have worked. But it's nice to show that we're trying new things, setting ourselves up for next season, and giving us a bit more of identity when we play. I think we've lacked a bit of that recently, but that was like high pressure, high intent Lincoln play on the wing. Kirsty Lynette as well. Kirsty Lynette was so good. Like, she was so good.
She was really, I was so happy. Yeah, same. I was so happy to see her back. I thought she linked up really well with the likes of like Becky Jane and that as well. And obviously,
her like what do you call it? I had a word for it. Her sort of like back to goal play was really good.
Yeah,
in terms of, like, she keeps the ball and then like turns and whatever.
Yeah, I think that's probably like her experience, like mostly playing like a 10 for us over the seasons, and like obviously you can stick it up top, and then you can stick in that number 10 role as well. And I thought Ashley Hodgson played really well as well. I think she deserves a mention. She was outstanding in that game. Same for
Ashley has been in the game before as well.
Yeah, she's had some really good performances this season, but she's like a similar player to like Lynette and stuff like that, whereas they can change across the 3 forward positions and drop back if you need them to. And that's probably like one of the best things for us, if you think about it, is that we've got so many players who can play across different positions. Like Ash Hodgson played right back for us and left back at some point in her career. So like, I reckon if you stuck it in goal, she'd be sound as well.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
So I mean, don't try it just in case, but like. maybe one day. But yeah, like we said, just the whole team did really well, and it was the little boost of confidence we probably needed, like to just maybe finish the season, in a good place. But we'll move on. Obviously, one player we haven't mentioned is Holland. Kelly Holland. She obviously joined us in January. 2 goals, 2 games. Just basically the perfect start to your career, really, isn't it, at Liverpool?
Oh, 100%. I've been so impressed with her. And I'm going to be brutally honest, I hadn't really heard anything of her before she joined the team. Yeah. And I think that's pretty fair to say I didn't. So my expectations were just very basic. And she's well and truly extended them and pushed them higher. 2 goals, 2 games, 2 great goals as well. You can't underestimate that finish at the weekend. When you're 1-on-1 with the keeper, 9 times out of 10, I fluff that up and it goes wide. You know what I mean?
I'm not even in that position, probably.
Oh, God. It's like the composure you have to do that. And, like, the composure that she had saying that's only her second game, first home start, and she finishes like that. It was just phenomenal. And I just think her work rate was just incredible. She was everywhere, especially in that first half. Obviously, you're bound to tie the second half. First half, she was making those, like, darting parallel runs, like, into the box, like, helping sort of playing off Lynette and Jane and everything like that. But she was literally just everywhere. And I think it's quite nice for her because, obviously, she's just come in. It's quite still fresh for her. She's still, like, feeling her way around the team, is more like just willing to go and, like, do new things to put her stamp on the team. So it was really good to see, and it just bodes well. I can't wait to see what else she sort of does for the club as sort of time goes on. But nice bit of, again, like, refreshed sort of view on the game because you've got someone new in that you've not seen for a while, and I think it freshens up the team as a whole as well.
Yeah, and I think obviously when she first signed, you're kind of thinking, oh, well, where's she going to fit in? Whose place ultimately is she going to take, or is she just coming into, squad player, like, a good addition off the bench? But 2 games and she's like, why wouldn't you start at the next one? Like,
exactly,
she's proved just what she can do. So yeah, she's been a great addition to the team, and obviously, Paddington manager Amber's obviously pointed out after the game that how much of a good player she is. She said Ceri's energy is fantastic. She covers so much ground and she's still giving 100% late on in the game. I thought she took her chance well when being 1-on-1 with the keeper. Just what we've said then. But yeah, obviously if your manager's giving you a lot of praise after the game as well, it's obviously going to be an even bigger boost to your confidence. So yeah, really happy with how she's started her career so far, and hopefully it continues.
Agreed, yeah.
You did the agenda, so there's a little mention for Rylee Foster, who was on the commentary at the weekend. Obviously, she couldn't be in the squad due to being with the Canada national team for a couple of weeks. But what was she like on comms? Because I was thinking to myself, she would be boss on commentary.
Amazing! I enjoyed it. I think I tweeted like 3 minutes in. I was like, I could listen to it all day.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, really good. Her footballing knowledge is incredible. Like, it is. And she would kind of say it how it was. Like, she would, sometimes when the other players have been on, they wouldn't necessarily say, like, oh, I think we as in the team, Liverpool could have done something differently or better. But she actually would be like, oh yeah, so we probably could have done better there or whatever, which was kind of like refreshing to hear because you never really hear that much. But she just was really like interesting to listen to because she was saying about Becky Jane scoring. I mean, I didn't know Becky Jane could score, but she goes on and she goes, Becky Jane scores stuff like that in training all the time. So it was really kind of cool to see like training side of players as well as like on pitch as well. And she was saying about Bo, how her deliveries are just ridiculous all the time. And she was saying when she's in training, who she finds difficult to come up against and things like that. So it was really, really interesting. I really enjoyed it. Huh?
Who did she say was difficult?
I think Ash was one of them. And I can't remember who the other one was. It might have been Beau, actually. Someone else will know, but she was just giving like little inside things of how people perform like on the training pitch and how that then like portrays onto like the field as well.
Yeah,
It was just great. I really enjoyed it. I listen to it every week, do commentary, to be honest.
you put in our group chat, you were like, I want to listen to Rylee Foster every week. Like, that's amazing. But did you see that?
Good.
Did you see that video that was posted on Twitter like before kickoff when the players are coming out to warm up and she was in the stands like yes, like cheering for them, like, oh, come on out. I was like, you are she's like the perfect person to have in your squad, like just a whole attitude.
She's the hype woman.
She is. She's the perfect hype woman. Like if you need to be hyped up before a night out, you go to Rylee Foster for it. I'd say, like, it just proves.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. We'll move on then to probably what is a big talking point for all Liverpool women. We've had our fun now. Yeah. Here's the little bit of sadness in the podcast. But yeah, it's a really difficult situation obviously with Liverpool at the minute. But obviously Rinsola Babajide has stated that she doesn't want to play for Liverpool in the future. She is looking for a move away from the club. It's a tough one, this, isn't it, really? Because, you know, she's such a key asset for our team, such a key player over the last couple of seasons. She's still so young. You know, she's got so much of a career ahead of her, and you obviously want that to be at Liverpool. But she's decided that she doesn't want to be. What's your whole take on the situation at the minute with it all?
I think that maybe the overriding feeling is just disappointment. She's a phenomenal footballer. There's absolutely no saying otherwise. But yeah, it's just a shame. I don't think you want any squad player to ever turn around and say they don't want to play for the club that you support. I think that's probably the most hurtful thing, because I think as fans, she's been a fan favourite. She's been someone who we've all sort of looked to for something to happen in games. That's a big thing. And then obviously we hear like she's not been training with the squad really at all the last couple of weeks, and then she's not at full fitness because she's not been training with the whole squad. So to me, it doesn't look great. I think it's fair to say. It's been a long time now. It's March. She handed in the request in January, and nothing's really changed. She's not been involved in anything. I don't think she's played a game since then.
No.
Obviously, we've got some postponed, but to not even be in the match day squad, either, to not even get 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So there's obviously definitely something going on there. And if I'm honest, I don't really know how it ends, because it's going to take a club with a lot of money to come in and overhaul this contract, this new 3-year contract she signed only in the summer. So I don't really know how it ends, which is really sad. But to see it, she was in and around the Lionesses, and now she's not playing any football at all. It's not just detrimental to the club, it must be detrimental to her as well now at this point, not getting any game time, not proving herself. So I don't really know who's winning here, to be honest. And I guess we probably never will, but it's upsetting, and not really a situation I'd want to be in with any of the players, to be honest, regardless of whether they're first team starters or off the bench or whatever, any of them.
I don't really see it changing, to be honest with you, from now until the end of the season. I think there's only like 5 or 6 games remaining. There's not long left of the season. If you think about it, if she's not training with the squad, and you know,
I'm going to throw it out there. I don't see her staying.
I don't think she's going to stay. I think it'll take a lot. I mean, you don't know if a new manager who comes in, whenever they come in, and they're able to sit down at Rins and say, this is what's going to happen at the club, this is my plan, you're a huge part of that. Something might change, you know what I mean? That might be what she needs, is someone to say this to her. But until a new manager's in the club, and or if something changes, then you're not going to know that. But as of right now, I don't see the situation changing.
No, it must be really difficult in terms of her and the squad's relationship as well, because at the end of the day, the any team with Rinsing is going to be a bigger threat to the opposing team, and I think that's fair to say. I don't get me wrong, we proved at the weekend we can get results without her, but I think you'd be silly to say that she doesn't make the team better, because ultimately she does, and you'd want her on the pitch every week if she was available and if she was doing that. So the relationship between her and the other players must be slightly damaged at the minute, like not showing up to training and not doing whatever, not being in and around the squad, involved on a match day, etc. If she does sort of turn this around and then come back into it, I think there's a bit of rebuilding needing to go on that side as well as with the coaching staff, etc. So there's definitely a long way to go. But I mean, hopefully it gets resolved. That's the dream scenario, isn't it? Someone does come in, changes their mind, and she puts back on the shirt and carries on as if you would expect, but with no word on if there is a new manager lined up or what the whole situation is. I think it's hard to sort of look ahead to that, really.
Yeah, it is going to be difficult, and obviously, everyone will be doing as much as they possibly can to try and get Rins ready still for this season and try and change your mind and whatnot. Yeah. But it seems like a long way back now in terms of rebuilding that relationship and whatnot. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully it works out for the better. But ultimately as well, she's got to think what's best for her as a player in her career going forward. And if she feels that that's moving away somewhere else where she gets game time in it, maybe it's a WSL club who come in for it, and she gets game time in the top leagues and makes herself known again, especially for England going forward with the tournaments coming up over the next couple of years. She does need to think of herself as a player also, so you can understand from that perspective. But we'll see what happens. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below on the situation, how you're feeling about it. But yeah, I think that's everything on the agenda that we wanted to discuss. Obviously, like we said, it's been a very Liverpool-based podcast this week, but we were just really good at the weekend. We really wanted to talk about it because we haven't had a podcast like this. Yeah, I was made up. I was so happy the whole day. So it's weird.
And then the men won as well. So
yeah,
great.
I think I've seen the under-18s one, the under-23s one, the women's one, and the men's one. So it was just a great day for Liverpool fans in general. So yeah, it was a good end to the weekend. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like the video, comment and subscribe to the channel, and let us know your thoughts below about the topics we've discussed today. And we will see you on Sunday for some post-match reaction. We face Crystal Palace away from home, so that'll be good.
Hopefully it's on TV.
Yeah, hopefully we can watch. If not, we'll do our best to try and bring you some comment, some updates and commentary and whatnot. But yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time with a new video.